it was necessary to overturn the considered judgment of the screening committee. The Ministry of Coal has been saying all along that the standing committee has been fair, transparent and just. If then all we want to know is why was the recommendation overturned?
If you're going to go by the book of rules,
I am going by what the Prime Minister said.
You will appreciate that I am not going to second guess the Prime Minister, because this matter is sub judice and it is being monitored by the Supreme Court, and you will appreciate the CBI is talking about it, and so hence it is really not rule position for us to be debating this on national TV.
Miss Chaudhary, I have with me, a copy. One second. I have with me a copy of the 25th Screening Committee, which gives in detail, and I'll point out here, exact recommendations which were made in the case of Indal and Hindalco. And I also have the copy of the 27th Screening Committee, which approved the minutes of the 24th and 25th Screening Committee. In other words, there were 3 or 4 considered meetings of at least 10 or 15 top bureaucrats of the Government of India who went through a process and made a particular decision. That decision was overturned later. So TSR Subramaniam, why was the decision overturned?
Yes.
Is all that we are. Who took the decision? TSR Subramaniam wants to counter you. Yes, to TSR Subramaniam.
Arnab, we have to make a distinction between field events like Muzaffarnagar riots or elsewhere and the working secretariat. I think here I have not seen exactly the files on this particular area. I think distribution of work was quite clear. PM doesn't come in the picture. The coal minister comes in the picture. PMO ought not to come in the picture. This is a matter, as far as the coal minister is concerned, he has got a secretariat. That secretariat is headed by the secretary and that is supported by the screening committee. As I understand it, procedure is screening committee makes the recommendations on merit. Then the secretary processes it for approval of the competent authority, which is the coal minister, not the PM. If the PMO has intervened in it, it is improper and incorrect.
But who is the coal minister?
Informally, PM may have got anybody's approval.
Who is the coal minister?
Informally, he may have got...
Oh, but who is the coal minister?
Informally, PMO...
Who is the coal minister?
The coal minister at that time was the PM.
So?
He was the PM.
So what does this mean then?
If he says that he took responsibility, which is correct, it is his responsibility, he has to, the buck stops with him. The question now really is, in the face of a very specific decision, recommendation by the screening committee, if it was overturned, normally the files would speak. We cannot speculate on this. We have got to see what were the circumstances, what were the new factors not taken into account. It would not have been staccato, one-line kind of an order. I think it is useful to find out, and reading of the file will give a clear picture as to what are the thoughts of government in this area.
All I'm saying,
and it is also extremely important, if it was pointed out to the competent authority that the screening committee had taken a particular decision, it ought to be overturned. If that recommendation has been made, it is full responsibility of the competent authority finally.
So that's exactly the point. We go back to who the competent authority was. And if that were the case, you see, the screening committee's deliberations make it clear that A, Hindalco did not have a fresh case for a fresh block of 200 megawatt capacity, and secondly, that Hindalco need not be allotted a separate coal block. This was earlier the case. If that were the case, if that was the decision of the screening committee, then what can lead to it being overturned? I go back to Subramaniam Swamy. And is there any mala fide intent in the overturning of the breach of norms? How can the final authority and not the recommending authority not be examined? There are 2 authorities. There's a recommending authority, which is the coal secretary. There is a final authority, and we don't know who that is. We are only told it's a competent authority. How can the final authority not be examined?
Well, first of all, Mr. Arnab Goswami, we are talking about the theoretical aspects of how a government should function, or is expected to function.
Yes.
We know that this government doesn't function in the expected lines according to the rules. We have seen that in the ordinance. We have seen that in so many other things. If the Prime Minister is anything, he is perhaps the most incompetent authority of this government. He is bypassed. And he has not come out because last time he came out, the entire party fell on him like a ton of bricks when he declared that the allocation of spectrum, the price of spectrum was fixed by Mr. Chidambaram in a committee with Raja. And he said it in Rajya Sabha. And then there was a big uproar in the party and the whole thing got buried. Now today, let me tell you that the signature is of the Minister of State for Coal, Mr. Rao. It is his signature there. Manmohan Singh's signature doesn't come anywhere. And I am saying it with full knowledge that the final overturning and allocation was done by an ad hoc committee, and they got an approval from somebody else and not from the Prime Minister.
Come on.
The CBI has got his hands tied. It's not able
Renuka
to go into
Chaudhary.
it.
Renuka Chaudhary, that reference to somebody else is pretty obvious. I don't know why you're not responding to Subramaniam Swamy. You're trying to deflect the very specific point that he's making out here, because your silence is revealing. He obviously is indicating that there is somebody else who holds greater influence over the coal minister, that is the Prime Minister himself.
All right, so let the mystery deepens. Let's delve into it and see how exciting. You can have an entire discussion on this again, on this development. So that's exactly what I'm warning you against, Arnav. These are preliminary things that have come out. When the time is right, you will hear from the competent authority.
Miss Chaudhary, this is a very serious question. No, this is a very serious question about the functioning of the government. Now, I go deep into this. I find the chairman of the screening committee himself has said,
competent anchor for this show, but I don't think you really understand.
Miss Chaudhary, you see, the question is very simple here. The chairman of the screening committee himself has said, for the proposed Greenfield Adya aluminium project, quote, compared to the other applicants who had set up their facilities, it was perhaps too early to ask for a block for a project which is planned to be set up in 2010. Now, the chairman of the screening committee is the coal secretary himself. So why then did the coal secretary himself see merit in the approval of a coal block later? We are simply asking you what happened in between. And I'm sure you believe, Ms. Renuka Chaudhary, that we have a right to ask what happened in between. You cannot get away by saying this is an evolving process of government. Even an evolving process of government has to follow certain rules, doesn't it, Ms. Chaudhary? Or can it be completely arbitrary in its functioning?
No, it can't be arbitrary in its functioning. Nobody has ever said that the government is arbitrary in functioning. I'm just saying, have a little patience and you're going to get all the answers and a lot of egg on the face.
I think
so you just have to wait for a bit.
I think TSR has answered very perfectly the procedure. He has answered the procedure, the decision-making process. I think he has answered, and therefore the question actually rests there. After TSR answered the necessary aspects of decision-making process. And even if Mr. Rao has signed it, obviously he cannot sign it without the consent of the coal minister.
All I'm saying is, all that I'll say, all that we'll say is we have to respect the viewer's intelligence. You know, the viewer asking today, the viewer is simply asking one question. He is saying there was a decision taken earlier. So if there are so many viewers asking us, this is a decision that was taken earlier, that it's too early to allot a block. Parakh himself said that the U-turn was based on a representation after the screening committee's decision. Now, what we want to know is, what were the details of that representation? Who all put their signature on it? Subramaniam Swamy says there are 4 people in the PMO who put their signature on it, and that's why it was moving, right? You don't think that's a relevant point? You don't think anyone needs to know who those people were who put their signature?
Well, I cannot believe something in invisible existence. I don't believe in invisible
The Central Bureau of Investigation.
Like Sadhu has the invisible...
The Central Bureau of Investigation, Mr. Kumar Ketkar has filed...
CBI can name.
Do you think the CBI has done a complete job so far? Have they or have they not?
CBI should name the competent authority, who is a coal minister.
So do you think the CBI can keep it general as competent authority, almost pretending as if it doesn't know who the competent authority is?
Yeah, CBI cannot keep it that way.
It cannot keep it that way, right? So that's the point. Yes, Gaurav wanted to come back. Gaurav.
Arnab? Yeah, Arnab, see, one thing is very evident. If you look at the earlier affidavit that was filed by the CBI in the Supreme Court, which was looked down upon because they was tinkering and tampering with the affidavit, original affidavit, and now again, you know, this term being used. They are trying to shield a person, and that person is very powerful. And that is why I said that, you know, there is a big question mark on the credibility and the courage that the CBI can show in investigate this matter fairly. Now, it is very important to also understand that if a screening committee made a recommendation and there was a representation later, the correct methodology would have been to refer the matter back to the screening committee to also consider the contents of the representation, and then the screening committee could have taken a fresh decision, and that should have been forwarded. This
but it didn't
process
go
was
to the
not
screening
followed.
committee.
Therefore,
Did it go to the screening committee again? It did go.
Arbitrariness and
No.
there is no fairness in the process.
So the screening committee, did it go back to
so
the...
it should have gone.
It didn't go, right?
It should have gone.
It didn't go, right,
Because the
Gaurav?
representation
Did it go?
might have highlighted new facts which should have been brought before the screening committee.
What it's a simple and logical thing. If a screening committee has taken a decision and if there is a recommendation, it's only necessary the recommendation be sent back to the screening committee. Because in the screening committee of the Secretary of the Ministry of Coal, Joint Secretary of the Ministry of Coal, advisor, you have a representative of Railways, Power, you have public sector representatives, you have Ministry of Steel representatives, you have Industry and Environment and Forest. You bypass the entire procedure. And then you don't need to have a screening committee.
Absolutely.
Then Renuka Chaudhary, you don't need to have a screening committee.
Why was it not sent back to the screening committee?
Renuka Chaudhary, answer that.
Why should I answer that? This is absurd. You are supposed to be seized with a whole lot of facts. You are not aware of the many links that are there. You are not able to substantiate what you are talking.